Hey, welcome guys to this new episode. In this video, we will be implementing the functionality to load the tags from the server. And we will also implement the component so that we display the tags once we have the tags back from the server. So if we load the home page, right now this React app is making a request to the tags endpoint. So that's why you see all those popular tags at the bottom, and yeah, it returns a list of tags. So yeah, let's get started. And also, if you go to the headers, the endpoint is /tags. So the first step is to declare the tag state. So right below the article state, let's define a tag state. And this is going to be, let's declare a separate namespace under the app directory. So tags.cljs, and in this file we will handle all the logic for tags. So also let's require all the dependencies. So in this case we just need the reagent core namespace, and we'll alias it to R. And let's declare the tag state. This is going to be a reagent atom, and the initial state is just going to be nil, as well as we're going to declare the loading state, because as you will see later on, we need to capture the loading state as well. We're also going to copy all the dependencies from articles, because we're going to make the the get request, and as well as we're going to copy the articles browse function in line number 20, because the functionality is very similar. So instead of articles browse, we're going to call it tags browse, and we will also declare two more functions that handles the success as well as error case. For the success case, we're going to call our function tags browse success, and this receives the response, in this case tags, and once we have the tags back from the server, we're just going to reset the tag state. And let's replace the handler, and let's also replace the error handler. We'll call it tags browse error. So right below the success handler, let's define the error handler as well. And even though we won't be using this later on, let's just define it, because we need to pass the error handler. Okay, so let's also define the error state, which is going to be a reagent atom. And now that is done, it's time to test our function. So tags browse. Oh, before we go ahead and do that, let's also change the API, so it's going to be /tags, not articles. And now if we invoke our function, we also need to import the tags. We need to include this into the core namespace so that the compiler is aware of this file. And now we can invoke our function. Okay, so it's making a get request, and if we inspect our tag state, we should see a map with the tags as the key and the array of tags as a value. So the next step is to destructure the tags from the response. So instead of just tags, we need to say keys tags, and now it will just save the tags. So it's just going to be an array of tags. Alright, so the next step is to handle the loading state. So right now the loading set is always set to true, which is, we don't want that, because once we have the response back from the server, the loading states should be set to false, both for the error as well as success handler. And now everything looks good. Now if we invoke this tags browse again, tag should be there, and the loading state should be set to false. Awesome. So now that we have the function that makes the get request for tags, we need to go to our routes, and when we enter the home page, so let's import these tags inside the routes. So yeah, when we when we enter the home page, we need to call this function. So in the routes home controllers, in the start function, what we need to do is we need to call this function. So tags / tags browse. And now if you refresh, so as you can see, and if you filter tags, so as you can see, the tags is being called. So this is working, and there you go. So that's the tags. And let's also quickly inspect our state just to make sure that we have the tags state. Okay, so it looks like everything's working. Now the next step is to go to the React code and see how this tags component is implemented, because we want to show these tags, right? So on the home page, right below the popular tags, we're going to be implementing a new component called tags list. So let's go to this tags component. It accepts two arguments, the tags as well as on click. And here it is just a functional component that does some. So let's copy this and paste it in the home namespace, home page, and we're going to implement this function in this video. So right above the home page, we will call our function tags list, our component, and this tag list will take a map of two values, the tags as well as loading. And we're going to say if it is in the loading state, then we're going to show loading tags. Else, if we have the tags, so if sequence of tags, one sequence of tags, then we want to loop over the tags. And so we want to display a div with a class of tags list. So for every tag, we want to show a anchor tag with a class of tag default as well as tag pill. And we want to pass the key as well. So the key is a meta value. I always forget the syntax. So yeah, so that's how the meta value should look like. And let's also pass the tag itself as the value that we're going to show. And now if we so yes, it looks pretty good. So the next step is to pass the tags as well as loading state into this tags list, right? So we need to import the app.tags and just refer the tag state as well as the loading state. And let's save it. And right below the popular tags, we're going to use this function, this component, and pass the tags as well as the loading. Let's make sure to deref it. Okay, now if we refresh, we should see the list of tags. Awesome. So this is working. However, let's change the anchor tag to button so we have this. Okay, so now we have this hover, this nice cursor. So the next step is to add the on-click handler to this button. We won't be implementing this right now, but what it does is when you click on the tag, it fetches the articles for that specific tag. So if we click on the tags, it should just display to do. So that's good. Now the final step is what we're going to do is when we leave the home page, we want to flush the state, right? So on the stop function, so we're going to define a function called reset tags, and it's going to reset the tag state because we don't want stale state as well. So when we leave this page, we want to call this function. Reset tags. And now if we test this, so if you go to the tag state, this should have a list of tags, and if you change the page, it should be set to nil now. And if we go back to the home page, it should be, the tag set should be there as well. So yeah, so that's about it for this episode. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.